Welcome, 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 welcome. Um, I'm. I was thinking about what I wanted to do for intro wise, and now my brain is just blank. Today we are looking at a brand new game. I am very excited because this is the first time I've ever gotten a key to a game. So I'm very excited. I wasn't expecting to getting any I wasn't expecting to get any keys or maybe one, but I ended up getting a few. So we're gonna look at some new games. Don't know if we're gonna look at them all today. I doubt it. Um I think we're just gonna look at one of the new games. It just came out the last day of February. It's called Snow Cone Serenade. It looks adorable. And it says it's a pretty short narrative, about an hour, maybe a little more. But you get to roll a dice and see how the story plays out, and I'm really excited. So let's get into it. I'm really excited. I needed a brain break from Outer Wilds a little bit. I realized I'd done two streams in a row of Outer Wilds. I was like, why is my head so tired? Here we go. This looks so nice. The cat cam is in front of. I'll have to adjust because I don't know where stuff is in this game. But yeah, we'll just have to see where things are. Isn't this so pretty? This is so cute. Okay. Let's start. Huh! So much snow. Wow, this has to be the worst cold spell ever, right, Jed? Oh. For a moment you forgot that your dog Jedediah isn't here with you. You would sit here with him every day since you got him from the dog shelter. That was 9 years ago. But at the moment, Jed can't be outside for too long, especially in this extreme cold. I was afraid he was dead. I'm not gonna lie. The little fella isn't feeling too well at the moment. Lately, he's been struggling to eat and got a little slimmer on the waist. Oh. So the past few days, you made it your mission to make every meal as interesting as possible for Jed. You think of new creations and combinations every day, and your house is slowly turning into the hottest fine dining spot for canines in the area. Still waiting for that call from Michelin, though. Talking to Jed feels like second nature, but today you'll have to talk to yourself instead. That sucks. Tell me about it. You're probably looking like a confused grandpa waiting for the bus or something. So you hope that nobody can see your attempts at being normal today. The car is buried under one of these huge mountains of snow, and the road is not even visible anymore. You're completely snowed in, that's for sure. Something about this sudden cold spell felt mysterious, almost otherworldly. Something in the air changed when it came. It's barely noticeable, but it's there if you focus on it. Oh, I feel like I've got to sneeze. Oh. There is a cat under my chair. What are you doing, Ollie? What are you doing down there? What are you doing? It's barely noticeable, but it's there if you focus on it. You should probably head back inside. It's time for Jed's medicine. A week or so ago, he was suddenly so fatigued that he couldn't even get excited about doing anything at all. You're a bit shaken up by the whole situation, but you want to be strong for Jedediah. Dogs can sense that kind of stuff. When it happened, you took him to the vet and got some medicine to help him with his appetite. He's quite fuzzy about taking it, though. Jed can be a dramatic dog. This is a nice spot. Pretty peaceful. You go inside. Oh, little house. I want to switch where my camera is. Cute. Hey, Jed. I'm gonna move where my camera is a little bit. I'm not sure where to put it. Guess we'll put it over here. You should take care of Jed now. He needs you. Jedediah. Hey boy, are you resting? I know. You're gonna be back to normal in no time, buddy. The doc ordered rest and a warm spot, so be a good boy and let me spoil you, okay? Okay, you need to give him medicine as casually as possible, otherwise he'll be offended. Let's be a little more inconspicuous. You turn your back and try to silently force the tablet out of its packaging. In your other hand, you're holding a small dog treat. It's one of those stripes of jerky. Jed notices you struggling with the packaging. You're not quite sure if he's excited or just curious. A couple days ago, he started to show some signs of improvement. You're not sure if you're imagining things, though. At least he still pays attention to these expensive treats he loves so much, but it's too early to tell. What an economically irresponsible dog. Anyway, the only thing left now to do is to skillfully place the tablet in the treat without Jed noticing. This could be a little dicey. Let's think. Dicey? Skill checks are rolls of the dice, which can succeed or fail. Information about skill checks is displayed in the brackets behind the choices. Wrap the medication into the treat. Medium 3. Information about the skills. First is the difficulty, followed by a number, representing the minimum value you need to roll to be successful. The difficulty depends on the information you gather, the mysteries you solve, and some good old luck. By the way, failing is half the fun. You should try it. Oh no. This is bad. While rolling it up, you squash the treat in a few places. This abomination looks like a burrito that was run over by a truck. You can feel Jed narrowing his eyes behind you. He's getting suspicious. Quick, think on your feet. Okay, use his full name and let him know who's boss. Try to plead with Jed. He knows this is important. Make up a story about how this treat is the best. He knows this is important. We got it! Jed, this is important. Come on. This'll make you feel better. That didn't do much. You know I'm always taking care of you, right? You raise the ugly burrito in the air. I mean, this thing looks absolutely trashed. I'm not gonna lie. A few crumbs let go of the burrito and fall to their death. The little fella whines but accepts his fate. He can feel your sincerity. But it'll make you feel better, trust me. Medicine is never fun. Since we're totally snowed in, there's not much to do today. Good thing we have to chill anyway, right, boy? I know what we can do, Jed. Jedediah lifts his head, anticipating your next move. Most dogs react to certain magic words with enthusiastic tail wagging or even the famous zoomies. These words usually have to do with going for a walk or playing in the park. But Jed is made of a different fabric, so you prepared to say his magic words. Let's watch some Star Trek, boy. Let's watch some kitten nightmares, boy. Kitchen nightmares, kitten nightmares. Let's watch some golf, boy. Let's watch some Golden Girls, boy. Star Trek. There it is. Gentle panting from the excitement of watching another episode of Deep Space Nine. You still got it. Jed immediately looks a little more lively. There's nothing in the world that makes Jed happier than watching Captain Benjamin Sisko navigating the challenges of administering a space station local. Oh God, I cannot talk. Located at the mouth of a Bjorian. I cannot. I don't see these words in life. Bajoran wormhole. Bajoran wormhole. That music. A diverse crew consisting of Federation members, merchants, service providers of all kinds, and Bajorian militia. Check. A promenade bustling with alien life forms, including a Ferengi bar, a security point led by a changeling? Check. Chief O'Brien? Check. Resistance to the brilliance of this show is futile, and Jed knows it. The dog has taste. You don't know if you deserve a good boy like him. You truly count yourself lucky. Perfect. Now it's time to get healthy, Jed. We've got some nice television, plenty of food, and you've got your nice spot right beside the... radiator? something terrible just happened. The sound of the room has changed. Before, just now, it was very distinct sound. But now it's gone, and all that's left is this sound, which is always there, but sounds very odd on its own. Additionally, you hear some sort of zing sound, which is completely new to you and is throwing you off. So to keep it simple, you want the re sound, but you don't know how. And then you suddenly feel something. Hey! It's getting colder! Stay calm, Jed. I'm gonna check it out. The radiator is still warm to the touch, but you can feel it fading away fast. Huh? That's odd. Twisting the regulator does nothing to bring back that sweet sound. You're starting to feel a little uneasy. It's not like you're a handyman or anything like that, and the extreme cold from outside will become a problem if this is a bigger thing. No way to get help today either. You're buried under all that snow. I know, Jed. It's fine. You stay here in your bed, and I'm gonna fix the heating system in the basement real quick, okay? Oh, good boy. Good boy. It's such a little guy. It is a little guy. It's probably just that weird heating system again. Last time I just had to flip the switch, and we were back to normal. Okay, I'm off now. Wish me luck. Let's go see what's wrong with the heating system. Oh yeah, it said that this game is like a liminal game. So, like, the spacing out of everything is a little interesting. You feel some sort of hesitation pulling you away from the doorknob. Before you embark on this fateful quest, you fix the heating. Oh, to fix the heating, you stop and close your eyes. It might be a good idea to collect your thoughts for a second and think about your approach. How are you feeling today? Choosing your mood gives you the opportunity to deal with some situations in your own way. Empathetic. Today you feel social compassionate, as well as in tune with the feelings of the people surrounding you. You can sense your way around a conversation and use your charisma to your advantage. +1 on all empathetic skill checks. Ruthless. Today you feel confrontational, daring, and even a little aggressive. Sometimes brute force is a simple solution for complex things. Let's stir the pot a little. +1 on all ruthless skill checks. Or logical. Today you feel well collected, thoughtful, and smart. You have a tendency to tackle problems with deduction, reason, and knowledge. +1 on logical skill checks. Logical, ruthless, or empathetic? Logical? I probably wouldn't do ruthless, because I'm me. I don't brute force my way into things. I like finding the solutions or caring. So I'm feeling a little more empathetic than logical today. Are you sure? Yeah, wait. Yeah, let's be empathetic. Empathetic. Huh? What the hell? Why is there snow everywhere? Yeah, in the basement? What you're seeing in front of you is shocking, to say the least. The floor, the pipes, everything is covered in snow and ice. Where's my furnace? And the switch? Well, it used to be right over there, but it's just gone. How is this even possible? Tough to say, but that creepy door might give you some answers. Massive door. The door looks totally out of place. Like, not in line with your interior design concept at all. Where did it come from? Knock on the door. Try to inspect the door for clues. Open the door. I don't think I'd knock on the door just because it's in my own house. Like, the thought of knocking on the door in your own house is like... Try to inspect the door for clues. Yeah, I didn't do logical, so it's not gonna work. But I guess we could try. We didn't quite get there. In this case, seeing the big picture is pretty tough. You can see the inklings of etched symbols all over the wooden frame. Oh, there's symbols! But nothing is really visible. The door is old and rusty. Those images have been washed away over time. I guess we're gonna open the door. It's a little scary. Slowly, you're moving your hand toward the door handle. Just before you open the door, you can feel something strange. but it's too late. Huh? What the hell? Ooh, there's like magic. Magic in the air. Oh! Huh? Wait, what? A purplish threshold emerged behind the door. You feel light like a feather in a really, really bad way. This must be a dream. An elaborate prank? A movie? Maybe a commercial. What could it be for? Moody purple light appliances? Probably. Sounds plausible. Yep. That's fine. This is fine. Floating in the air in front of a purple thingy and not being able to move. Totally fine. Oh, and by the way, you're not actually moving toward the thingy, are you? Good. Just making sure. Wait. You are moving toward the thingy? Is this the time to panic? Scratch that. You're panicking. You can't move. Nothing works. Access denied. I'm sorry for touching your door. It's too bright. Your eyes close automatically. You see nothing but the image of that bench behind your house. It would have been so great to be able to sit there again with Jed. You're so sorry it has to end like this. Here it goes. What's happening? Hello? No? Oh, you did. Hello? God? Seriously, God? To check, please. Get a hold of yourself. You're obviously in shock, but the situation needs your attention. Welcome to Snowcone? Never heard of it. You're not sure if any of this is remotely real, but what's there to do except check it out? Come on, this is ridiculous. I have to get back to my dog. No answer. Nothing but cold air and snowflakes. This place seems abandoned. The cold is out of this world. Out of this world. You've never experienced anything like this. That jacket is extremely thick, but has no chance against whatever this is. So no options but to just start walking. Huh? Huh. Go this way? I see chicken feet. Tonkatsu skewer. In the middle of this liminal snow desert, a tiny building has been carved out. Seems like they're selling street food? An oasis of scents, lights, and colors. The only thing missing is warmth. What's even more grotesque is its inhabitant. Hey, that's rude. A person made of snow with arms and legs tends to the food as if this were normal. You move through this fever dream almost automatically, as if you're on rails. Before you know it, you approach the snow creature. Oh, hello! I welcome you, outsider. I knew someone like you would come one day. Huh? Incredible! The ball of snow speaks to you clearly. Oh, incredible. The ball of snow speaks to you clearly and in a slightly awkward way that seems a bit lengthy and laborious. Please have a look at the menu and enjoy my food. I'm sorry, but what is all this? Oh, such a big question right away. The snow person seems kind. They tend to the food with exceptional care. I'm sure you have many questions. Tell me, how did you get here? A door? Maybe you should elaborate. Scratch that. It's a little tough to elaborate on a story like this one. You're still in shock. Some odd things are happening to me, I think. Oh yes, outsider, you speak the truth. My name is Shozo. I think the O's, does that mean they're long? Shozo. Welcome to my humble little shop. He gestures toward his little food shack. It's clean and tidy, even though it looks very old. I specialize in freshly made skewers. Frozen eggplant skewers, frozen chicken skewers, icy onion broth. Is everything frozen? Oh, yes, of course. But first, tell me about yourself. Shozo says that with a smile that only comes from genuine kindness. Can you tell me where I am? The snow chef hesitates for a fraction of a second. Excuse my manners, but may I ask you a question in return? Where did you come from, outsider? My basement? Oh, I see. And what did you do there? Well, my heating broke and I wanted to fix it. But then there was this weird door and I got pulled into this place. Ah, yes, that makes sense. It does? Yes. How so? Outsider, welcome to Snowcone, our tiny settlement. We are snow people. Snow people? Does he think that's something you can just say to someone at random and not come across as a lunatic? Oh, I'm sorry, outsider. I must sound like a lunatic. Well, you can think of us as settlers moving from place to place. Always in search of for warmth so we can survive. Warmth? Yes, outsider. Is he kidding? But it's ridiculously cold in this place. Ah, yes, I understand your confusion. Huh? Our understanding of warmth and cold is quite different from yours. See, in this place, you cannot have one without the other. Our element is the cold, the snow, and the ice, but it cannot be sustained on its own. We need another source of energy to strengthen our settlement. It becomes the cold that keeps us going until it's depleted and we have to move to the next source. I don't get it. Well, what has all this got to do with me? That is the sad part, outsider. According to your story and my knowledge of this place, I came to the conclusion that we have inhabited your furnace. You did what? It has been adopted by our world and now powers everything you see around you. What? The ice, the cold, and even the person standing in front of you. You're slightly closer to understanding what's going on here. Wait, this is actually bad. I need my heating. Believe me when I say I do not agree with this practice at all. Sadly, I am not the one who decides these things. So who does? I need to fix this. I have responsibilities. I can't be here right now. What you need is an audience with the mayor of Snowcone. She is the one deciding the fate of this settlement. Mayor? And where would she be? Follow the path to the right until you see a big cone-shaped structure. Of course, a big cone-shaped structure. Because that's totally normal. I am very sorry for your troubles, outsider. I know you do not want to hear this, but I think your arrival will put our settlement back on the right track. I guess I have to speak to the mayor then. Follow the path, outsider, and come back if you have any questions about Snowcone, especially if you see something strange. Thanks. Alrighty. I would love to know more. Huh? Know more about what? More about you. Okay, I'm not in a hurry, but I'll try. I really have more important things to do. Okay, I'm in a hurry, but I'll try. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. This is funny. I think it's cute so far. It does look like a snow cone. What is going on? The intimidating cone-shaped structure dominates the sky. Next to a futuristic checkpoint, you see this weird panel. Is this thing the doorbell? Not a doorbell, bozo. So don't even think about touching me. Oh, sorry. It's a computer? I'm the city computer, Mayel. Oh, okay. Hi, Mayel. I want to speak to the mayor. So what? Do you think I let every hobo through here? Oh, through to her? Huh? That computer just called you a hobo. So mean. Please, it's very important. Why are you so mean? Think about a good comeback. Just walk through the checkpoint. He called you a hobo and you won't stand for it. This computer is scary. You browse through your brain for something charismatic, funny, and witty. This is what you come up with. You know what? What? You're a hobo. Oh. That's it? It's just dead air. Meh. Why are you so mean? What a noob. I'm a computer, dude. If you get your little feelings hurt by a machine, that says more about you than it does about me. This computer's so rude. Please, it's very important. Oh no! I'm so sorry, human. Here I am doing my job like the diligent computer I am, but now you tell me it's actually important? That might be sarcasm. Oh, yowie wowie. How could I be so stupid? It's sarcasm. Go on through, human. It's okay. Oh, wait. It's not. Because I don't give a crap about your story. Get in line. She's a busy woman. Just walk through the checkpoint. This is ridiculous. Oh! Okay, we can't walk through the checkpoint. That one hurt. Something stopped you. Hard. Like a force field or something. Ouch! I know, right? I like this computer. It's a force field. It has a mean bite, huh? Yeah. Human, I'm sure you don't have an appointment with the mayor. So be on your way. How can I get one then? Let me check the schedule. Just a sec. The Excel sheet is pretty big. Great. There it is. Next available date would be in a couple months. What? That's ridiculous. Well, it is, but what do I care? You have to take the you'll have to take the appointment or try your luck with the contest over at the stage. Contest? Of course there's a convenient contest to see the mayor. Please stop repeating me. Jacob is renting out his setup for the city's annual open stage karaoke contest. I'm dialed in from over here, judging the contestants. You have to know that I'm a total music freak. How does that help me in any way? Well, it's probably not, but the first prize is a dinner with the mayor. Oh, yeah. Dinner with the mayor? That's it! You're gonna save Jed by singing. That's so awesome. Do I have to sing? I wish you would stop making that sound, human. What sound? You know what you're doing. It's annoying as hell. So, a karaoke contest? Dinner with the mayor? Come on, human. It's exhausting to hear you talk as it is. Don't start repeating me now. Just walk over to the right and talk to Jacob about entering the contest. Now get lost. I got some music to explore. This is so weird. Karaoke. There's Jacob and Rando. Is it a random person? They're Rando. Hi, Rando. Hi. In front of the stage stands a solitary young man. He seems incredibly preoccupied with something. As you approach him, there's a slight twitch in his posture. He's very aware of your presence, but purposefully doesn't give you a look or even anything at all. It almost seems like he's trying to be invisible. He's tall and lanky. His tall and lanky stature makes this task impossible, though. He's towering over you, even though he might not want to. He hands you a piece of paper saying, "Please leave me alone." Huh. How odd. Gotta go. Okay. Do we have to sing? Is this like a singing thing? I mean, in the picture they were holding, I thought it was like a snow cone. Maybe it was a microphone? Hey, kiddo. Huh? This person seems to be made of some kind of ice. Very stylish, but also a little spooky. He looks slippery. You looking to be a star? A star? But I'm a star already. Yes? No, I'm a star already. No. Everybody wants to be a star. You came to the right place. Why don't you give it a go? Only 5 flakes to sing for the crowd and enter the open challenge. Oh, so you're in charge of the challenge? Yep, kiddo, Jacob's the name. That's great. I have to speak to the mayor. Gotta win first, kiddo. But I can see talent when it's in front of me. And you got mountains of the stuff. That'll be 5 flakes. flakes? What do you mean? Are you kidding me, kiddo? His demeanor suddenly changed. He looks like he's just been insulted. Why isn't he saying anything? Not kidding. Sorry. How can you not know? Flakes make the world go around. You use them for literally everything. You buy food with them, rent a room with them, and you pay me with them for letting you perform. Understood, kid? So it's just money. That's disappointing. Somehow you thought this place was really different from your world, but apparently it's not at all. I'm afraid I don't have any flakes. His face changes again, this time to form anger mixed with deep shock. He doesn't seem to have any control over it either. Is he that obsessed with money? Why don't you get lost then? What? That sounds straight up sinister. Huh? You heard me. Come back with the dough or don't come back at all. Is this guy psychotic or something like that? No time for charity, kiddo. How does the karaoke challenge work? First things first, you pay the fee. 5 flakes. Directly to me. Then you choose a song, get on the stage, and perform or whatever. I'm not involved in the judging. Mayel does that. Ah, that grumpy computer from the security checkpoint. If you're good enough, you win the challenge and get to have dinner with the mayor. Easy as that. So fork over the flakes, kiddo. How do I choose a song? Where are all the contestants? How do I choose a song? Just take a look at the songbook. It's right there next to the karaoke machine. Be careful, though. That stuff cost me serious cash. Where are all the contestants? Yeah, maybe this is a slow year. Don't worry about it, kiddo. It's still a good investment, trust me. The only weirdo coming over to me so far is that idiot over there. He points to the sad-looking kid. Came here with nothing to say and a piece of paper. Wanted me to get him on stage for free. Can you believe it? Get back when you find your guts and some money, kiddo. Once a loser, always a loser. Damn. Why are you so mean? What's it to you, kiddo? It's annoying. I think it's a bad look for a promoter like you. In business, you gotta be tough, kiddo. Did you know how many rotten eggs tried to do business with me? I grabbed every single one of them out of their little basket and threw them on the ground. I do what's best for business. Don't you worry about the rest, kiddo. He doesn't really care about anything but money, huh? I guess we gotta go find some flakes? Some snowflakes, maybe? Oh, dark figure, karaoke machine. He said there was a book. Maybe I have to go to the karaoke machine. Dark figure? Some kind of shadow occupies the darkness in this area of the stage. Is that a person? They're shrouded in some kind of blurry veil. Hello? Nothing. Just an odd tingling sound behind... Tingling sound behind the veil? What's a tingling sound? Anybody there? This is a little spooky. You just can't get through. There has to be more to it, right? Maybe if you focus hard enough, you can make sense of it? Try to understand the veil and lift it. Nothing in this place makes sense anyway, so you embrace the madness, take a step back, and analyze the dark spot. It still looks odd and blurry. It's not just a normal shadow, but part of some kind of void. You tilt your head a little and start to see tiny little refractions in the blur. They remind you of the purple light behind the door in your basement. If the blurry shadow is indeed a person, they seem to be close to that void. Is this where Snow Cone is ending? What? You don't know what happens if you cross the void. Would you get back home? Maybe. Back to Jedediah? That person sits in front of you, front of that barrier, and if you tilt your head just right, the optical illusion might fade. What? They're gone! They gone, yo! There it is! The shape is becoming clear. In front of you sits a young woman with a kind smile and sleepy eyes. She's hidden away on a poorly lit couch, watching the stage from a distance. Very strange. I'm gonna adjust my camera really quick. Because I think... No, that just blocks stuff. Okay, let me adjust my camera really quick. I just need to I just need to flip it. That's better, because now when I look at the screen, it'll be like I'm looking this way. That's a little better. And then we'll group those all together again. Sweet. Okay, that's a little better. Watching the stage from a distance. That surely didn't make things easier. Hello, Dove. I'm Donna. Oh, hello. You're the outsider? Marvelous. Yeah, hi. Are you gonna sing on stage for us today? Us? All the seats are either scattered around in the snow or just straight up empty. Donna takes a look around as if she's noticing her surroundings for the first time. She's giving you slightly confused vibes. Oh, well, I guess not many people found their way to the stage today. But you gotta stay and listen. It's marvelous. I almost didn't see you back there. Why is this place so empty? You really seem to love karaoke. Can you give me 5 flakes? I almost didn't see you back there. Oh, yes, I guess I had to take a back seat and rest for a bit. I've been so tired lately. I don't know what that's all about. Anything weird about that spot? Weird how? I don't know. Sorry, Dove, it's just a regular spot, it seems. I'm not sure about that. Why is this place so empty? Oh, I'm not sure. Again, she seems lost in thought. I guess it's a combination of the early sunsets and uncertain times. Uncertain times? Well, it seems like Snow Cone has changed a bit these last few years. It became smaller, I think. You sound unsure. Everything feels like a blur nowadays. Some people left the city and some have been staying, but some seem a little odd. What about you? Oh, me? Still the same old Donna, I think. How can you not know? I'm not sure, Dove. I'm a little absent-minded lately. Yeah, I've noticed. Seem to really love karaoke. Oh, yes, I do. It's the greatest gift to the city. The open challenge started as a way to get the common folk and the mayor together. She's such a busy woman, and having a dinner is a great way to get to know her. But the dinner is not what it's really about. It's really just about eating the food. It's about becoming a famous singer. It's a way to complain to the mayor. Famous singer? Wrong, Dove. I don't think our humble open stage has the power to make you a star. It's not about fame. It's about us townsfolk. It is? Yes, Dove. It's about familiar faces showing you a different side of their personality. She's getting excited. I can't even count how many townsfolk surprised me with that heartfelt song, a rockin' performance, or a beautiful whistling melody. A whistling melody? Oh yes, dear Mitch surprised us all one year with a beautiful 50-minute whistling performance of his compositions. 50 minutes, huh? Yes, Dove, isn't it marvelous? People open up when they perform, they share things about themselves. Things that can't be put into words so easily. That's what's so great about the open stage. Sounds very nice. Sounds kind of cheesy. I don't know. It sounds stupid. It sounds very nice, Donna. It's marvelous, Dove. You should participate. Don't you get tired of it? Never. Besides, for a moment, Donna seems lost in thought. I'm still hoping for someone to show up on the stage today, someday. That sounded mysterious? Like, no one's been on the stage? Question mark? Oh, okay. Who? Well, it's complicated. She seemed hesitant to tell you her little secret. Ask her about her secret. Can you give me 5 flakes? Ask her about her secret. You take a breath and concentrate on Donna's presence. Her kind eyes, unwavering smile, and vivid stories about the open stage that she told you. All those things create a little story in your head. There was once this lovely lady. After a year, she watched people sing on a brightly lit stage while she herself sat in the dark, listening intently. They gave her music and she gave them applause and admiration, but the lady doesn't enjoy the limelight herself, and so she stays in her little spot. It could be enough for her, but there is one thing she would love more than anything in this world, something better than listening to strangers sing for themselves or their families. You're waiting for someone to sing a song just for you, right? Donna's face turns red for a second. Did I give it away with my stupid stories? You caught me, Dove. It's true. Donna rubs her eyes. She's fighting back against the sleep, it seems. It's embarrassing and selfish. So who is it? She looks a little scared and very shy all of a sudden. You have to promise not to tell him. Who could say no to that? Of course, Donna. A childhood friend. He was always an outsider, very quiet, but I could see his true nature. He's standing right over there. Oh, she's pointing to the quiet guy in the corner. His name's Rando. Such a weird name. Rando. Rando? Yes, isn't he marvelous? Well, we went to the same school. He's always been a little quiet, but very sweet. We were the best of friends. His dream was to become a singer one day. Every day, he would read his lyrics to me. He couldn't wait to perform in the open challenge one day, but all other kids bullied him. They bullied him? Why? Because of his voice. His voice? It's very, very deep. Unusually deep. He had it since he was a little boy, and all the other kids made fun of him for it. There's nothing he could do about it. That's cruel. I loved his voice, but he became so self-conscious about it that he slowly stopped talking to people. After a while, I was the only person he would speak to. His only friend. The bullying didn't stop, and Rando became more and more reclusive. Conversations with him became more rare, and his beautiful, rich sentences became single words, and one day, nothing at all. And here we are. We saw each other from time to time in passing on the street or at the grocery store, but he became so quiet he would never answer me or talk to me. It's breaking my heart. I'm sorry to hear that, Donna. Please don't tell him, Dove. I could never bring myself to, Huh? Tell him that I really like him, This is madness. He has to know. He might not feel the same way. I don't think Rando you knew is still there. He might not feel the same way. I don't think the Rando you knew is still there. None of them were great options. Exactly. I don't think I could take the rejection. It's been such a long time. Donna looks sad, almost defeated. I mean, I could try to talk to him without mentioning you. Maybe there's a way to get the old Rando back. No reaction. She looks even more tired than before. Donna? Oh, I'm sorry, Dev. I think I need to process this and rest a little. I don't even know if he remembers it the same way I do. I'm sorry. Maybe you went too far. It's not really your business. Sorry, Donna. Oh, don't be, Dev. I'll be up again in no time. Can you give me 5 flakes? I'm sorry. I don't have any on me, and I don't want to miss the show. Gotta go, Donna. Okay. Looks like a karaoke machine. You can choose a song from an endless list and perform on stage. Hey, hey, hey! No touching, kiddo. You can check out the songs, but everything else is off limits. Get me the flakes and you can perform. One look at the list is enough to reveal the hard truth. You don't know any of these songs. You're in a weird snow world with weird snow songs. This is a disaster. Unmelt My Heart, Your Cold Embrace, Thermometer Melody. It's completely obscure and hopeless. You can't sing any of these weird tracks. Lost in the Deep, noob. Huh? Do you know how annoying that is? Every other word out of your mouth is, huh? What's up with that? Mayel, is that you? You can see Mayel appear on the screen. Who else would call you noob? Noob. Nobody, like, ever? Exactly. I'm at the stage. I'm not blind. I can see you, bozo. Charming as always. Thanks. Anyway, all these songs are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what the hell is Slippery Slopes of Love supposed to be? That one's a classic, but I can't sing any of these. I don't know anything about them. Oh, bummer. What am I supposed to do now? Listen, bozo, if you want me to make you sing and perform... Oh, yeah. If you want me to make you sing and perform well, you might as well shut me down, because that would be straight up impossible. Get some help from the locals or something. You're a big boy. Figure it out. Great. Just great. I look forward to the performances. I'm the judge. I'm looking for something truly unique. Real emotions. With a little flicker, Mayel leaves the screen. I think it might be safe to say I'm having a bad day. Should we try to talk to Rando again? Hi. I know about your voice. I need help with the contest. Should we say I know about your voice? Because we told her we wouldn't tell him about her. I need help with this contest. I don't think I can do this, but I really need to win. You're greeted with more silence and a slightly nervous shuffle. He stirs up snow with his feet. In between these nervous movements, you can hear the tiniest little sigh. It's not easy to decipher his body language. You feel like he has something to say, but he can't say it. You concentrate on the way the snow is irritated by his nervous feet. The sound of his sigh resonates in your mind. Then you look into some void on the ground that he seems to be so infatuated with. There's nothing. You don't know what's going on, but it seems like he needs help. Hey, Rando, I know about your voice. Those words lead to a small degree of relaxation in his nervous posture. And then he pulls out the little notepad and writes on it. Thanks. Complicated. Just like Donna said, he really doesn't talk anymore. The pen hits the paper again. Thanks. Who told you, Donna? Donna told me about you. Well, who knows? He's clinging to the paper now. He starts to write frantically. Did Donna ask about me? Shh, not so loud. That made him mad. Because he's just writing. Not so loud. What do you mean loud? I'm writing on a piece of paper. Explain. Oh. You're an idiot. I promised her not to tell you. You're both giving me impossible conditions for this story. Explain! Yes, but please chill. She's kind of wondering if you'd go on stage today, maybe. Really? Rando is starting to write fast like a maniac. Do you think she likes me? Well, yeah, maybe. Who knows? But what about you? I've liked her since forever, but I can't bring myself to use my voice again. It brought me too much pain in my life. How bad could it be? It's bad. Okay. But this year I really wanted to finally sing for her. She loves this place. I'm just really afraid of the rejection. But Rando, you have to go for it. I have a really good feeling about this, trust me. It's useless. Even if I could bring myself to do it, I don't even have the money. You don't? Nothing. Damn it. You know what? I've got an idea. I'm gonna find the money for you to sing. And you're gonna put on the performance of your life for Donna. You would do that for me? Yes, just promise me one thing. Okay? Win this stupid open stage and hand me that dinner ticket. Deal. That dinner sounds boring as hell anyways. But I need to talk to the mayor. Long story. Thank you. Okay, I'm off to find some money, I guess. Oh, this is so sweet. We're gonna help true love. True love. I'm so excited. Okay, where do we go now? Do we go back? Okay, let's go back this way. Do we go back to Mayel? I don't know where else to go. We get to talk to them again? They're so mean. I'm back. Great. You said you're a music freak? Affirmative. What about it, bozo? I wish you would stop calling me that. Freak, like you're making music or... Nope. I'm both a curator and a collector. Oh. I'm passionate about listening to music, categorizing it, and sourcing the rarest releases this realm has to offer. Popular music isn't that interesting to me, at least from a collector's perspective. But if your grandpa made an album that's catching dust in his basement, I'm all ears. Oh my gosh, this computer is like the kids in school who, or the people who don't want to like something because it's mainstream. I can't because everyone else listens to it. Oh my gosh. I think that's why I'm picking this voice, is because it seems like that girl or guy in high school who's like, I just can't. Everyone just likes it too much. But anything else, anything crazy or old, anything that's not mainstream, I am down. I'll start tracing, sourcing, and sniffing out anything as long as it's obscure. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Next to Mael, there's a tower of cardboard boxes. Is this his collection of records? What are the most obscure records? Are those boxes full of records? True statement, bozo. That's my pride and joy, my collection. That's a lot of vinyl. Vinyl? Are you nuts? What a noob. I wish you wouldn't call me that. Those are cassette tapes. Huh? I wish you would finally stop saying that. Sorry. So, cassette tapes? True statement. But do you actually think these obscure releases are being released on vinyl? Don't say, huh? I wasn't gonna... Anyway, they're all exclusively released on cassette tapes. Most of them are handmade, self-funded, and of course, independently released. I digitized them, but since I'm a collector, they're sitting here. In the middle of the street? True statement, bozo. I know it's not ideal at the moment. I mean, wow, sounds like a touchy topic for Mael. The snow isn't helping with keeping the tapes in mint condition. The mayor promised me an archive, but the city is limited at the moment. Limited? Not enough space left. I can't really explain it myself, but the mayor assured me that she would find a solution. So far, you've seen and heard some odd and worrying things in this town. Something is wrong with Snowcone. What are the most obscure records in your collection? Wow, bozo. An actual great question. I really wish you would try to be nicer. Quiet noob. I'm still processing the question. It's actually amazing. Thanks, I guess. The question was, what are the most obscure records in my collection? To answer accurately, I need you to specify what obscure means to you. Huh? There it is. Sorry. Obscure. Good question. Ambient music, fake film scores, field recordings. I give up, tell me. Obscure field recordings? I don't know what any... ambient music? What obscure? I don't really understand. Hi first, welcome. How are you doing today? I'm playing this kind of interesting new game. It's strange. I don't understand what's happening. Good. I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, I'm playing this. It's a new game. It just came out last week. Or a couple days ago, honestly, like 6 or 7 days ago. And I was given a key by the dev, and I thought it looked really cute. And so I'm seeing what it's about. It's kind of a narrative. You're supposed to, like, talk to everybody, and then you get dice rolls for specific things you want to try. And it's interesting. It's interesting. So far we have a dog. It's cold, it's like winter, and then something happened and your heater is dying, and your dog isn't, like, doing well. They're kind of sick right now. And so the cold isn't going to be good for them. So you go down into your basement to try to fix the heater, but there's this weird portal, and you get sucked into it. And you come to this strange place called Snowcone. I'm going to click off of it because I think it pauses it. And everyone's kind of like made out of ice, and you're told you need to talk to the mayor, because so you met this person and they said that Snowcone is inhabiting your furnace, like the place Snowcone, because they need warmth in order to support their cold. It's so strange, but they're essentially sucking all the energy out of your furnace. So you have to talk to the mayor to see if they can, like, go somewhere else, I guess. And then you find out you have to, like, perform in this karaoke contest to talk to the mayor. But you're actually going to help this other person do the karaoke contest to, like, find their love. But you have to help them get the, like, entry fee. It's kind of obscure. It's kind of funny. And the conversations so far are, like, they're pretty silly, and I like it. Like, this this computer is like the mayor's assistant, and they're like the mean kid in high school. They're like a bully, and they're like mean. But you're trying to like what I'm trying to do right now is just talk to them so they'll like let me through maybe, but I don't think they ever will until like I get the karaoke thing. But they're telling me about how they collect music, but only things that are obscure and not mainstream, and they collect them on cassette tapes, not vinyl, because vinyl is too mainstream. It's so ridiculous. But oh my gosh. We'll get back to it. Feel free to lurk, feel free to comment. I'll keep an eye on the chat. But yeah. So I mention the name? The name of the game is Snow Cone Serenade. So we're just trying to figure out what's going on, and it's odd. I got lots of ambient synth music, for example. Fantasy synth, plant synth, astrological synth, or dino synth. None of this makes sense. Yeah, none of this makes sense. Because this computer is explaining to me what kind of music they collect, and it's all nonsense. Like, none of this is real stuff. Yeah, it's a strange... So essentially we're just trying to gather 5 flakes. That's like their currency there, is 5 flakes. And then we're gonna give it to this guy who like is trying to impress this girl who likes him back. But he has a hard time singing, he got bullied for his voice. So we're just trying to find some flakes so that they can enter the contest. Oh, this is so weird. Yeah, ask any questions if you're like, what is happening? So that's, right now, I'm just trying to find any flakes. I don't know where we would find those. Listen to this excerpt of Untitled by the Knights of Slow Motion. Reaper? Okay. I'll call you Reaper. Okay. Oh, I see. Very obscure. So obscure. Fake film scores? Oh yes, I've got plenty of those. You do? What exactly are they? They're just what it sounds like. Fake film scores. So a score to a non-existent movie? Oh, wow. This excerpt from Ether is wild. I'm worried about you, Mael. It's the people where you're like, are the things you're interested in even real? Yeah, I don't either. It's that kind of thing where you wonder if the things people like are things they actually like, or if it's just they think it's cool to like them. That's the vibe I'm getting. It's a scene before the battle. The smith is forging a magic weapon. This isn't even a movie. What are they talking about? It's a fake movie score. This movie doesn't exist. What storyline are they even talking about? Like, what are they talking about? I need to turn off my phone. It keeps dinging. Stop it! It's just notifications. It's not even people. Shut up! Yeah. No. I'm confused too. I'm very confused. So essentially, this computer is like the assistant of the mayor. We're trying to get in to see the mayor. We're also trying to find the currency of this place called Flakes. But I'm just like small talking with them. And they're telling me what music they like and what music they're collecting. Because I think I'm trying to kind of like build a reputation with them or like a relationship or something. So that they stop being so mean to us. Because they're really mean. But yeah, so right now that's all I'm trying to do is just kind of see what they're talking about and kind of become friends, I guess, with this computer, Mael. Forging a magic weapon that has to be dunked into mushroom soup. Yeah, this is nonsense. This is all nonsense. So cool. Field recording. See, all of this is just nonsense. Yeah, they talk about flakes. Like I need like because we somehow have to win the karaoke contest, which costs 5 flakes, is what they call it. And this town is like people made of snow. So it's like a fantasy town. So I have to find flakes, and I'm not sure how. And also, we found someone to go into the karaoke contest for us. So we're going to get the flakes and give it to them so they can go into the contest for their, like, love story. And this has all been, how long have I think I've only been playing for about an hour. And actually, it said this game was only about an hour. So it feels like we haven't really done anything. So, I guess we'll see. Field recordings? Good one, Bozo. I got a lot of very, very eclectic field recordings. These are truly extravagant. Not your average field recordings at all. Listen to this field recording of dust falling on the ground. What? Huh? Stop saying that. Whoops. Or this one. It's the sound of wind on a quiet day with no wind. Wait, what? Jeez. What the that scared me. What's up with that sound? Quiet Bozo. Hey. Or this recording of a teeth filling. What the fuck is happening? Huh? I told you to stop saying that. I'm sorry, but what even is that? A teeth. Are you deaf? That's what I said in the first place. A teeth? Yeah, but that's ridiculous. Why does a teeth sound like that? I said it's a teeth filling, not just a teeth, you idiot. What does that even mean? I don't understand. You've asked me about the field recordings in the first place, you idiot, bozo idiot. Okay, stop. What? Let's cool off, Mael. Sorry, it was just a little too obscure, maybe? Well, that is always a real possibility in my great collection. I'll actually take this interaction as a compliment to the obscureness of my catalog. Oh, okay, I give up. Tell me. Because they were asking, to me, it's a girl. To me, it feels like a girl being so weird, or maybe a guy. Could be anything, but it feels like they asked what obscure meant to us, so that's what we've been answering. And so now I'm like, I don't know. What? I don't know what's the most obscure, and that's a good thing. Oh, I asked what's the most obscure thing they have in their collection, and they asked me what I thought. That makes a little more sense. Not much. Yep, just think about it. If I ever found a tape that was the pinnacle of obscurity, I would just stop looking. It's just not possible, bozo. I'll always keep collecting more. What was this interaction? I kind of want to listen to it again. It's so weird. Like, what? What did we even just listen to? It's all nonsense. It's nonsense. Come on, just let me through. You're boring me, bozo. Just forget it. The mayor's too busy and she hates guests. Fine, bye. Okay, so wait. I'm not sure where to go now. Go back? Oh, we can go this way, or we can go that way. Can we just break it? It won't let us through. The thing is, we tried and there's a force field, and I don't think we can break Mael because it's not an option. We can't just break it. Oh. But we can go down this way. Oh, hello?
This is outrageous. I want to speak to a superior.
I understand, sir. Please know we're doing everything to assist you in this matter.
You say that? You've done literally nothing. This is serious stuff. I want a full refund. No! Scratch that. I want a new product that works as advertised.
But, sir, you still didn't provide me with an order number.
So what, lady?
It's just that I'm not even sure we sell that product, sir. What was it again? A dicer? Dicer? Are you serious? This incompetent? Or are you seriously this incompetent? It was a slicer dicer combination, lady. Yes, sir,
So the gist of it is that this product slices onions and radish just fine. Carrots, on the other hand, a whole different story. Even if the slicing of said carrots has been advertised explicitly.
Sir.
And don't even get me started on the dicing functions.
Sir, please, could you.
The cubes are coming out, dare I even say it, inconsistent.
Huh? So these people actually talk on the phone, right? Your head starts to hurt. Oh, are they literally like 5 feet away from each other?
To the naked eye, they might look perfectly square, but they aren't. With the help of a simple protractor ordered in your shop, by the way, I was able to confirm the unspeakable. The cubes are not perfectly or orthogonal.
Oh. Oh? Who are you? Oops, sorry.
Lady?
I mean, yes, sir, I would love to look at.
This is unacceptable! My reputation is on the line here. Do you want me to present these crooked cubes to my guests from work? Do you want me to lose my job?
What? No, sir, not at all.
Then fix this mess.
Sorry. What do you want?
Say what now?
Oh, sorry, sir. I was talking to someone else. I need to confirm this with another department.
What? No!
I'll just be a minute. Please hold the line.
No, wait! Not again!
Thank you. The woman hits a button on her keyboard. Whew. Okay. Essentially, what I'm gathering is for some reason you just walked in on like a scene or something where. Okay, wait. I gotta click off so it pauses. You scared me there for a second, outsider. It looks like the office is open to the world. It looks like the person calling in is 3 feet away? Question mark? And they're being absolutely ridiculous, the caller. Like, what are they even talking about? The person on that's trying to answer them doesn't even know what you're talking about. And somehow you're standing right in the middle of them? And she can hear you and see you, but this guy over here is oblivious? That's all I can say. The thing is, this is still the very beginning. So there's probably stuff going on because this is called a liminal. They mentioned in the game like description that it's liminal, which usually means that the in space and like our what does I almost need to look it up. Liminal is like your perspective isn't what you think it is or something. So like liminal space. Like I guess that's my understanding of it, but I'd need to look it up. That's my bare understanding from life, but it's probably slightly wrong. But what I'm assuming is that like for storytelling they have the two right there on the screen, but for some reason in the actual story they are right there. Like if you're watching like a theater show on stage or something, like a theater show, and you have someone, on a call over here and then a call over here, they're not really right next to each other. But I guess in this game they are. Like they're literally like 5 feet away, and then you coming into this is like, huh? Like like you literally walking on stage, but it's real life, and you're like, wait, you're 2 feet apart, huh? Like, you just walked into this person's office from a snowfield. That's what I'm getting from this. It's liminal. It's confusing. So let's just go on this journey together. Like, what's happening? I'm not sure, but let's just assume that this person in the office can see us. And for some reason, that other guy on the phone is just being ridiculous. And I don't know if they can see us yet, but it seems like they can't. So let's just assume that anything can happen here. Anything can happen. So let's just assume. You scared me there for a second, outsider. Hello? Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. It's fine. What do you want?
I can't believe it. She put me on hold again. I'm gonna hang up. I'll never hang up. This is about justice.
So, Shirley, hello? What's going on here? Nothing but utter hell. He's the worst I ever got. I don't know what to do. He just won't hang up. This is your job? Isn't it obvious? I work in customer service. Oh, I love that emoji. That's adorable. That's so cute. I'm working in customer service for the Teal Corporation. They sell everything from socks to cars. It's like working for Amazon. What is that noise? In heaven's name. How do you not know? Oh, you're the outsider. Sorry, this must look completely mad to you. Customer service, big corporation with shady business practices. I'm sure you don't know what any of these things even are. Dude, it's Amazon. Or Walmart. Well, anyway, I work from home and I answer the phone all day. Returns, refunds, warranties, and everything in between. Oh my gosh, all the Eevee. Eevee is one of my favorite Pokemon. I actually have a stuffed, you know, Build-A-Bear? I have a stuffed Build-A-Bear Eevee. I don't even know where Eevee is. They're somewhere. I have so many stuffed animals, they get lost under the couch. But Eevee is one of my favorites. I love Eevee so much. I named my Eevee Maisie, and she's adorable. I'm gonna have to find her, and I'll have her by my desk, because Eevee's the best. Returns, refunds, warranties, and everything in between.
Oh, I hate this song.
The whole song.
Can't they at least play something nice?
Why don't you just hang up? That corporation sounds evil. Why don't you just hang up? If it were only that easy. What is that yipping? Pikachu, Pikachu. Can I tell you a little secret? Uh-huh. My shift ended hours ago.
What?
The company policy simply doesn't allow me to hang up the phone. It's like in those love stories. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. Except I'm not allowed to. And this customer is a lunatic. There's no way to solve his nonsensical issues. He's complaining about things he didn't even buy from the company. 1 second he's on about his mixer, then he's suddenly talking about a coffee grinder. What is this yipping in the background? So weird. It's a bush. Is that just a bush? In chat, you're just putting bushes. 1 second he's on about a mixer, then he's suddenly talking about a coffee grinder. Then he randomly told me he had a near-death experience a year ago. His nose was stuffed because he was sick and then proceeded to brush his teeth. He almost suffocated because he couldn't breathe through his nose and his mouth was filled up from all the toothpaste. What in the name of God is that story? And when I asked him why he didn't just stop brushing to breathe, he told me I would never compromise dental hygiene for a bit of fresh air, lady. I mean, what? Okay, that's literally what I said in my head. I was like, what? I don't know what to do with that information. You're really not allowed to just leave the call. No, the customer is king and also the only party allowed to hang up. Most of the time you can get angry customers to hang up, but he's like a final boss or something. Solves everything. Jail. Right to jail. I've tried everything. Like putting him on hold several times for long stretches of time, but he just stays on the line.
I have to talk to him, be nice, and act like I'm doing something. It's unbearable. He's so angry, and he keeps calling me lady. I hate the way he says that. Ugh.
What is that? Oh, just shoot him. Yeah, we could just shoot him. She seems desperate. What a strange kind of hell. At least I can do a little personal stuff on the side. Talking to him is like going into autopilot mode. I'm one step away from drooling on my table. Huh? That corporation sounds evil. Honestly, she should just transfer him to someone. Just transfer him to some other department and then leave. Because that's ridiculous. Personal stuff on the side? That corporation sounds evil. Personal stuff on the side? Oh, it's nothing. She seems hesitant to talk about it. Well, to be honest, I actually hate this job. What? That's not surprising, is it? I get it. I get it. This is far from my original plans in life, believe me. I began this job as a fast, part-time means of supporting myself financially, but somehow part-time became full-time and started passing so damn quick. I found myself absorbed in this horrible job, hearing people complain all day about completely meaningless things. Why do they care so much about these stupid packages with things in them? Yeah, so am I. So am I. We're just talking to someone random. But it's actually really funny. This, honestly, I haven't been playing for very long. It's very confusing. I kind of like it. I'm just focusing on this one little story here, honestly. Yeah, I'm so confused. Yeah, we're in the same boat. 100%. I have no idea. Why do they care so much about these stupid packages with things in them? Probably for that little dopamine rush from unwrapping it. It's like a present. That sounds a bit unhealthy. But still, people need to chill with complaining. I didn't lose their packages, and I also didn't break their new radio. Sometimes it feels like they hate me. I get it. Wait, you didn't tell me about your side project. It's kind of embarrassing. Did you buy me a package in a package? A package in a package in a jar in a jar. So what's your dream then? It's very personal. Tell me something about yourself first. About me? Well, what do you want to know? Well, isn't it obvious? It is? Yeah. What about your job? Oh. I'm self-employed. You are? Yep. Wow, that sounds scary. It has its benefits, but also some pitfalls. I can imagine it sounds stressful, but also liberating. And do you like your job? Yeah, I love it. You do? That's probably a pretty rare thing. I'm jealous. You should count yourself lucky. You know, a job is supposed to be a vocation. Something that calls out to you. I guess you're right. Wait. What's your job? Me? I mean, technically streaming right now. I don't have a job at the moment. And yeah. So I see this as kind of my job at the moment. I'm just working on, sharing stuff with people. But I also have an Etsy shop. I crochet stuff. It's not like big or anything. I don't get a ton of orders, but. So what's calling out to you then? Promise not to laugh? Why would I? Is she gonna be a singer? It's kind of random, but. Oh no. I dream of becoming a cereal designer? Huh? Cereals, like breakfast cereals. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. Why? Because I love cereal. I love everything about it. She wants to make cereal. Or design it, I guess. As a kid, I would love to check out all the colorful boxes at the grocery store, Snow Puffs, Almond Bites, or the famous snow cones. Okay. Okay. I enjoy designing the cereal boxes. Oh, cereal boxes. That makes sense. My favorite cereal? Right now, my favorite, Captain Crunch without the berries. Berries are okay, but I prefer just the honey Captain Crunch, are Frosted Flakes or like Honey Nut Cheerios. Those are my favorite because I love Frosted Flakes and Honey Nut Cheerios because I can put blueberries in it because it doesn't have like a whole lot of its own thing going on, but it's sweet enough that like it goes really good with the blueberries. I love it. So yeah, what's yours? What's your favorite kind of cereal? Man, cereal is so good. Ooh, we just got more milk. Maybe I'll have cereal for dinner. Cereal. Lucky Charms. That's one of my other favorites. Honestly, I love Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, and I do love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And when I was younger, I would mix all three in a bowl. And it was really, really good. But now it's too much sugar for my, adult sensibilities. But it was divine. Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and plain Captain Crunch. Oh, so good. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Lucky Charms is up there for me. Actually, I might get Lucky Charms next time I'm at the store. I haven't thought about them in a while. I love Lucky Charms. Mmm. Mmm. You're at Luck now? What does that mean? I love Lucky Charms. I enjoy designing cereal boxes, considering the ingredients and the cereal name. I want people to enjoy my own cereals someday. I mean, it's a little random, but it sounds sweet. I mean, look at this. She's pointing toward a big pile of notes and sketches and design ideas. All of them are boxes of cereal. She's obsessed. Hey, they look pretty cool, and the names are wild. Okay, see you later. Yeah, this game is crazy. I don't blame you. So are you saying you're gonna head out? That's completely fine. Or you could lurk, you could do whatever. That's okay. Yeah, this game is actually more confusing than I anticipated, but I kind of like it, so. Yeah. That's fine. If you're heading out, I'll see you later. If you mean something else, let me know, but yeah. You're good to do with it, whatever. They look pretty cool and the names are wild. Cactus Crunch, Cinnamon Scepters, Honey Hubs, and Chocolate Cones. Wow, you're really into this stuff. Yes, I love it. So, why don't you do it then? Dump this job and do your own thing. To be honest, I don't really know. I'm always telling myself that this is the last shift and then I'll quit. But then I get scared and push the thought away. You have to do it. These are awesome. I mean, I have no clue about cereals, but they look so vibrant and intriguing. You know what? You're right. I am? Yeah. Today I'm gonna quit. Woo! Right after I finish the shift. Oh. Well, I have to leave the things nice and neat. I can't just hang up on this guy. Besides, if I don't finish the shift, they'll take away my pay for today. Maybe you can help me get rid of him. Me? I'd love to, but how? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe you could get him to hang up somehow. I could try. Would you help me in return? It's about my dog. I have to get back to him. He can't be in the cold for too long, and it's a long story, but could you give me a little of your pay so I can enter the contest at the stage? You know what? If you're actually able to shut the customer up, you've got yourself a deal. That's so great. Good luck, outsider. You'll need it. Ooh. Tell me about your best cereal design. Okay, so we're about to get the money, or hopefully, to be able to help out our karaoke person. Tell me about your best cereal design. Oh, that's tough. Good cereals start with good taste. If you don't have that, you can pack up your things. As for design, it's all about colors and how they interact with that taste. For example, honey is yellowish or golden. So if the honey is a main ingredient in your cereal, but you better think about using those colors. And then I simply love putting a twist on the whole mascot thing. Mascot thing? Well, every cereal box needs a cool mascot. My design for Sweet Syrup Snippets is an awesome goblin as the mascot. Oh, that's so cool, a goblin. Or my Toasty Trees would be seasonal and have Santa on the cover. Cute. You gotta think about all those things. Wow, I never knew how complex cereal boxes are. Isn't it great? That corporation sounds evil. Oh, they are. All they care about is numbers. So if I just helped an annoying customer fix an immensely nuanced problem, they would give me a number measuring satisfaction. I mean, how is that supposed to help anybody? Sorry, gotta go. I have realized that my cats have not been in this cam at all, so I am gonna pop down their cat cam. But yeah, when if they pop back up, if they come up, I will put the cat cam back up. Sorry, gotta go. Okay, let's go talk to the customer. Yeah. I can't talk right now. I know, sorry, but get lost. This is a life and death situation. I can't see. Can't you see this is the most important call of my life? Okay, fine. This hold music is making me crazy and I can't get it out of my head. I can't talk right now. I know, sorry, but get lost. This is a life and death situation. Can't you see this is the most important call of my life? Okay, fine. Hold music is making me crazy. Huh. Hey, Shirley. Oh, hi, just a sec. Sir, another department just told me about the positive development in this matter. What does that mean? I'll just have to... Oh, God, no. Put you... No, don't you do it. On hold. No! No luck, outsider. She did it again. Gotta go. Okay, so we can't do anything with that right now, I guess. Let's talk to Shozo again. Hello again. Happy to see you, outsider. Get comfortable. Tell me about your shop. You said you don't agree with the mayor. Tell me about your shop. Of course, outsider. What do you want to know about it? Why is it in the middle of nowhere? How long have you been here? What are those odd dishes? Why is it in the middle of nowhere? Oh, that is a good question, outsider. I mean, this whole city is somehow some kind of snow desert. What's up with that? What's up with that? Where should it be instead? I don't know. What you're experiencing is a feeling of unfamiliarity. Do not fear it, outsider. It is very beneficial, actually. I have hiccups, as always. It is? Yes, the unfamiliar is something that can help us learn new things. I guess so. Apart from that, it is a very long story. All you have to know now is that snow cone is always changing. Just because it is in a desert now doesn't mean it has always been like this. But I know it is confusing, but trust me, outsider, it's better if you talk with the mayor. I know that. What are those odd dishes? Are they not looking delicious? They actually are, but it's all kind of frozen. Do you want to taste something? Well, what do you recommend? The icy vegetable broth is freshly made. I just finished it. I would love for you to have it, friend. Sure, why not? Why not? Let me tell you why not. It's all totally frozen. What are you doing? Don't say anything now. It's totally impolite. Is something wrong, outsider? No, everything's splendid. While saying these words, your worst fear become reality. Shozo produces a block of ice in the shape of a ramen bowl. It's huge and crashes down on the table with a thunderous noise. Through its translucent surface, you can see vegetables and herbs of all kinds. There you go, outsider. May this freshly prepared delicacy represent the culinary qualities of our city well. Right, now he's bringing the whole city into this. Yeah. Now you're starting to sweat. How you're able to do so in this bitter cold is beyond you. It seems this is the kind of embarrassment that opposes science entirely. Thank you so much, Shozo. You truly are a first-class idiot. Do you know that? What are you gonna do now? You better not insult Shozo. He's probably the nicest person you've ever met. Quick, he's watching you. Oh no, he looks so stoked. What now? You can't possibly eat this. It is a legitimate, solid block of ice. This is not one of those cases where there's something that looks inedible. It's actually quite tasty. This is actually bad. I repeat, bad. You will not be able to eat this. What are you gonna do now? Force the ice bowl down into your body with pure violence. Distract Shozo and make the block disappear. Tell Shozo you don't want to eat the disgusting block of ice. Impossible. Distract Shozo? Nope. A maneuver like this requires finesse and a basic understanding of how to distract someone from something. You don't meet either of those requirements. You're not a magician, but you're trying to emulate one anyway. First is the setup. Hey, Shozo! There seems to be a fly on the tiles behind you. Then you forget about the other parts of a magic trick entirely and proceed to tell your body to just drop that bowl now. Shozo does not look behind him, though. The flies don't bother me. It is fine. It's too late now. He's looking straight at you, but you already told your body to drop the ice bowl quietly. But you have fatally misjudged its weight. The result is like dropping an anvil on a glass floor. It's loud and obvious. The bowl doesn't even break. It slowly slides down the street. Shozo's gaze slowly follows it. He looks at you as if he's seen a ghost. I'm sorry, Shozo. Ha 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 ha. He's laughing? You truly are special, friend. I will cherish this moment for eternity. Thank you for sharing it with me. Huh? What a great guy. What the hell? You said you don't agree with the mayor? Yes, outsider. It seems that we have lost our way. Though this way of living is wrong. You take something, you also have to give something back. Do you not agree? Because, okay, so Shozo was the one that told us that this whole town place is like stealing the heat from our furnace in the basement. So he doesn't agree of this kind of leech-like way, because I guess they roam around looking for heat sources, and our furnace was one of them. Shozo sure has some big words hidden up his sleeve. He might sound a little cheesy sometimes, but it all feels very genuine. Outsider? Whoops, sorry. Oh, it is fine. I think I understand. You must be very preoccupied at the moment. What I meant was that the town of Snowcone is part of a natural circle. We take something, but we also give back. But the mayor is no longer honoring this silent agreement. We should have never come here in the first place. Nothing gives us the right to take your warmth from you. You sense some kind of secret in Shozo's words. He seems to choose them even more carefully than usual. Will you tell me about your big preoccupation, outsider? Huh? Something is bothering you deeply. What is it? Oh. Seems like it's pretty obvious. It's just my dog, Jedediah. You have a little dog? How beautiful. Yeah, not so little anymore. He's already a bit older. And now the heating is broken even though it's extremely cold, and I see. Yeah, sorry. For what? It's more than understandable. You worry about him a lot, don't you? Sometimes I can't sleep because I worry so much. I try not to think about it. I'm realistic about it, but it's tough. Sometimes I can't sleep because I worry so much. I see. It is when we are alone with our thoughts that we tend to focus on the darker things in life. Yeah. Jedediah is not just any dog, after all. He is your friend, right? Of course, he's even more. Jed is my family. Dogs are truly special in that regard, outsider. They do not bring any reservations into their friendship with us. It's true. I bet Jedediah is the same. He follows and loves you unconditionally. Yeah, he does. Awkward laugh. Your way of coping with uncomfortable things. What's wrong? He's become pretty sick a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry, outsider. This must weigh heavily on your soul. Well, I'm trying not to think of it too much. And also, I don't want to see him see me worry all the time. I feel like it kind of rubs off on him sometimes. I see. You're worrying a lot, are you not? Yeah. I understand. I know that feeling. Really? You seem so calm. Ha, I'm just old, friend. With time, I was able to calm down and enjoy the present as much as possible. It is not always easy, but I found that making an effort does indeed help. Yeah, I just hope he's okay. I'm scared. Scared of him dying. Well, since that is the future, why do we not focus on the present again, outsider? The present in which Jedediah is very much alive. That's true. It's just that it became so much more real when he got sick. You're so wrapped up in your own routine, and then in one tiny moment, you're completely thrown off. I kind of felt like an idiot because I froze for a second. I don't know what to do or where to bring him. But then you did the right thing anyway. I guess. I brought him to the doctor immediately and took care of him all day. Good. Yeah, it'll probably be fine, right? I mean, he seemed to be doing better with the medicine this morning. I wasn't sure, though. Maybe I should call the doc when I get back. There might be more I could do for him. Friend, slow down. Huh? It's okay. You're doing good. Remember what I said about your worries? Yeah, you're probably right. I guess I should get back to fix my heating, huh? I wish you the best of luck, outsider. Thanks for the talk show, Zoe. That really helped. Of course. Oh, huh? Just one more thing. When you meet the mayor, ask her about Flake. Ask her about Flake? What does that mean? Do not worry, outsider. She will know. Okay, thanks. Of course, be safe. What? Of course, outsider. Come back anytime. Okay, so this is where we started. Trying to see if maybe there's anywhere else we can go. We can't go down. Okay, let's go back. This is so strange. So we came back here. There's nowhere to go. Okay, there's nowhere to go from here. Maybe let's go back this way? I'm back. Great. Oh, can you help me find some hold music? Are you stealing my rhino? Yeah. Do you want to see what my partner did? Let's see. Cat cam. Where is it? There it is. Did you see that rhino? I crocheted that. My boyfriend just put it on there. Put it on the cat tree. Enjoy. Can you help me find some hold music? What do you mean? It's a long story, but I need something I can play as hold music on a call. Additionally, it would be great if the music would lead the caller to hang up the phone. Great inquiry, bozo. I'm processing. What are you doing? What is happening? You just put an orange there. This is more confusing than the game we're playing. Thanks. That's a tough one. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, stop. Yeah, it's too big. The lemon is too big. I have the cam on so they can see. Yeah, I figured. Oh, it brought a kitty up. Brilliant thinking. You gonna come up? Ollie's on. Not tough enough for my expertise, though. I think I have something that fits your needs exactly. You do? That's awesome. What is it? It's an extremely rare tape called Study in Liquids. Wow, okay. What's a study in liquids? Shh, not so loud. Oh, okay. First of all, it's totally obscure. Naturally. You wouldn't believe it. It's a 400-minute experimental album about liquids. Liquids? Yep, it's mostly the sound of water flowing down rocks, accompanied by nuanced homebrew synthesizer patches that sound like water as well. Huh. There we go. Sorry. The computer doesn't like us saying huh. Anyways, the urban legend is that the artist Pond Drinker was a janitor and worked on the album for 40 years up until his retirement. Pond Drinker? Then, on his last day, he finished up the album, mastered the tracks, printed the cover, and made the cassette, and then... Then what? Then he put the cassette into a bathroom air vent at the school he was working at. He didn't tell anyone about the tape. Just a single soul, one of his friends. But why he put so much work into it? He did, but midway through the production he realized something terrible. It seemed like his obsession with the sound of water turned this beautiful tape into something that could not be enjoyed by anybody without having to go pee after a few seconds.
It does? Yup, a tragedy, right? He realized it when he invited that friend to listen to the tape. Pond Drinker, the water master, was able to listen to the cassette, but his friend immediately had to leave to use the bathroom. When he got back and continued to listen, no way. Yep. He had to go again? Right away. Unbelievable. So Pond Drinker was devastated. It was his life's work, after all. So when he retired, he deliberately left the tape behind, for it was a dangerous weapon of mass incontinence. And you found it? What? No. Oh. I did get my hands on it eventually, but after Pond Drinker died 15 years ago, the tape was found. It became an absolute cult album and single-handedly formed the genre of liquid synth. It started with school kids finding the tape and listening to it in the school bathroom. The only safe place to listen to liquid synth. Woohoo! Hey, what? What a great story! Are you kidding me, Mael? This is what you do? I didn't know you had these great stories to offer. I thought it was just about collecting. I know, right? These stories are the best part. They are. Huh. Huh! You're not half bad, bozo. Huh, yeah, you too, Mael. But wait, what about my problem? You're not serious, right? Don't you get it? Oh, you want me to play the Pond Drinker as the hold music and then the caller will have to hang up and leave for the bathroom or die trying. Mael! Bozo? You're brilliant. I know. So take this memory stick, the album is on it, and please be careful with this. Do not listen to it yourself, just feed it to that guy. The music of Pond Drinker is very powerful and potent. You have been warned. I'll be careful, thank you, Mael. Shirley will be so happy. Okay, got lost now, I need to source new stuff. Oh, and I hope all this nonsense will get me a good performance to judge later on stage. Well, in a very cumbersome way, it actually does. I hope. This is the weirdest crap, and I kind of love it so much. My kitty is here. Do you want to come? Do you want to come lay down? Come here. You want to come lay down? Want to come lay down? Come here, baby. Come here. Want to lay down, or do you want to go over in the cat tree? Or do you want to do neither? Oh, you want to come here. Okay, come here. Come here, love. Come here, love. Oh. He gets really cuddly. Come here. Come here. Want to lay down? Oh, and he just plopped. He just plopped right on down. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, he's so good right now. He's so good. He just like threw himself down. Okay. Later, Mael. Okay, so now we have music that we can send to Shirley. Okay, Shirley, here we go. Hey, Shirley. Oh, hi, just a sec. Sir, another department has just told me about a positive development in this matter. What does that mean? I'll just have to... Oh, God, no. Put you... Don't you do it. On hold. No! No luck, outsider? She did it again. Shirley, I got a solution to your problem. No way! Yes, it's actually brilliant. What is it? It's liquid synth music by Pond Drinker. Oh. I don't think I understand most of the words in that sentence. Oh. Yeah, it's a long story. Basically, Mael gave me this music that makes you pee immediately. What? That sounds crazy. You got that from the city computer? Sure did. Here, take this memory stick. You need to feed this into the line. Be careful, though. That music is like dynamite for your bladder. How does that even work? I'm completely clueless. Fire it up. Well, here goes nothing. Shirley is now dragging the album onto her computer. After a few drop-down menus and loading screens, something seems to happen across the street. I could ask for a refund on that hand soap I ordered as well. I mean, it's already empty, which is outrageous. Yeah, I'm gonna complain about that right away. Where is she? Unbelievable. That damn music. Oh? It changed. That sounds so nice. What is that? I've never heard anything like... Ooh. Wait, no. This can't be happening. More cat! Yes, Arandius. Yes, Arandius. The guy starts to squirm. But my bladder is made of steel! How is this possible? Ah, damn you, Tail Corporation! And damn you, lady! They hung up! Hell yeah! And just like that, it's finally over. Oh, are you gonna swap? You gonna swap to this side? Come here. There you go. You wanted to swap. And just like that, it's finally over. Huh, too bad we can never listen to it. I wonder what it sounds like. I can't believe it! My last shift is over! And it's all thanks to you. Woohoo! But Shirley, what? Haven't you forgotten something? I think he did airplane ears you. Oh yes, your money, it's right here. Take it all, 10 flakes. She hands over the money, little ice coins with a cat symbol on them. A cat symbol? Oh wow, thank you, but that's not what I meant. Let's quit. Oh! Oh. There's that flicker of hesitation again. You know it too well yourself. Yes! Great. With those words, Shirley seems to dial a number on her phone system. I'm calling my boss right now. Good for you. I'm so proud of you, Shirley. I'm gonna tell her what's what for the first time ever. Ha, this time she has to listen to me for a change. Who's laughing now? Shirley is fired up, but after a little while her expression fades just a tiny bit. I'm serious, don't call me Shirley. Oh. Oh? Oh, it's fine. It's just... At the moment, I'm on the waiting line. Oh, okay. Well, you told me Teal is a big company, so I guess that's to be expected. Yep. So the hold music? It's nice, yep. Cool. What? Oh, I didn't say anything. Oh, okay, sorry. This is a little anticlimactic, right? It is, yeah. I didn't want to say anything before because you were so fired up, but this blows, actually. It does blow. So, I think I'm gonna... Oh, absolutely, I'll be fine. I'm sure it's not gonna take long. Thanks again, Shirley, and good luck with your cereals. Thank you so much. Bye, Shirley. Bye. Wow, you did a good deed today. Shirley is freeing herself from corporate oppression, and you got the money. Now it's time to leave this place. Meanwhile... Jedediah, our puppy. You really hope Jedediah is okay. It must be pretty cold by now. Yeah, Orontius, I know. That's like the original. It's the OG. Don't Call Me Shirley. Leslie Nielsen. And National Treasure. Must be pretty cold by now. Just focus and stay sharp. The next step is going to get to that stupid stage and get to the mayor. Yeah, we gotta stop the mayor. Aww. It'll be fine. Why are you making me listen to him whimper? Stop that. Okay. Let's go to the stage. We've got enough flakes. Should I talk to my L real quick just to see if they've got anything? It totally worked. I'm back. Great. Okay. So they don't. I didn't know if they would have anything because they gave us the music. Okay. Oh, let's talk to Rando. Hi. What are you gonna sing? It's a special song from our childhood. I'm sure she still remembers it. Oh, that's beautiful. You gonna win this, Rando? It's about my little dog. I need to save him.
Please don't put more pressure on me. This is hard enough already. Sorry, I forgot I'm so nervous. Okay. Maybe we just need... Oh, wait. Maybe we need to talk to Donna. Hey, Donna. Oh, it's you, Dove. No. Okay. Hey, kiddo. About the entry fee. Here, 5 flakes, as discussed. Haha, great. He snatches the money out of your hands immediately. Hey, easy. Okay, the stage is yours. Knock yourself out. Do I have to sing right now? You can prepare yourself, kiddo. You're looking at a happy man. I got those flakes after all. Okay, you should talk to Rando. It's showtime. Okay. Let's go talk to Rando again. Hi. It's showtime, Rando. Hey, Jacob. I paid the fee and Rando here's gonna sing for me, okay? Ha 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 ha. Whatever. I don't care who sings, even if it's that little loser over there. So mean. Why is everyone here mean? Except for Donna and Rando. And Shozo. And what's her face? Shirley? I won't stand in the way of you wasting your money, especially if it's on me. Ha 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 ha. What an idiot. Hey, loser kid. No peeing your pants on stage, okay? Why is he such a bully? What if that loser can't bring out a single syllable or word? You don't come begging me for your money back. Whatever, Jacob. Stage is yours, loser. Oh, and don't trip on my leg and fall flat on your face. What? Remember when that used to happen in school and your nose started bleeding? He is his bully. I don't know if it was the tripping or just nosebleed from being a loser. Haha. I guess we'll never know. They went to school together? Okay, don't mind him, Rando. We need to... As you turn towards him, you see him breathing hard, almost hyperventilating. This is bad. You need to help him. Hey, Rando, stop, stop, stop. I know the stakes are high, but you need to focus on the part of this that brings you joy. He's giving you a look of a little kid standing in the corner of the schoolyard, alone. You love music, don't you? Focus on that and forget everything else. Just you and Donna, okay? You feel sorry for him. Seems like he has calmed down a little. He manages to grab the pen and writes on it. Writes with it. Thanks. I need to do this on my own and at my own tempo. Can you give me some space? Of course, Rando. Seems like all you can do now is wait and see. He's getting very calm all of a sudden, and then something happens. There's something different about him. He's finally doing it. He's not worrying anymore. You're kind of excited to finally hear that deep voice. Yay! That was nice. I liked it. Donna. Yay! That was so nice. That was so nice. I liked it. I liked it. Okay. Wow, it looks like they're talking. It's probably best to leave them alone now. Ha ha ha, what a show. Loser sings that he goes to his little friend, and now they both look like losers. Ha ha. What an ugly couple. Ha ha ha. Don't ruin the moment. What a dick. Can you just punch him? Punch him in the face! Yeah! I didn't even roll the dice. That's amazing. Hell yeah. Yep, that one had some beef to it. Your hand hurts like hell, but you feel like it was worth it. You rip the dinner ticket out of his limp hands and decide to leave this cursed stage once and for all. Hell yeah. Huh. Oh no. Suddenly you've got a thought. Jacob is sleeping peacefully and the stage is empty. You're not seriously considering this. You know you don't know any of these songs, right? Let's rock the stage. No! It's gonna be bad. We only got a 2. We needed a 4. Okay, so you were pretty fired up just now, remember? Yeah, it was kind of stupid in hindsight. The lights are blinding and everything's completely silent. You're getting nervous. And then you try to overcompensate for that nervousness with a firm and strong voice. You take a deep, deep breath and then it happens. Something got stuck in your throat. It's bad. But then a random song seems to start and you don't know what to do. Just swing it. Sing like an angel. This is called Cough Core. Cough Synth. Hacking. Rocking it. Is this sneezing too? Looks like you killed Jacob. He's just laying there listening. Yikes. Good job, Coffee McGee. That was very strange. I thought if you lost, you just wouldn't go up. But no, you go up and you cough everywhere, I guess. Might be best to figure out a way to leave your brain behind. That was the pinnacle of embarrassment. Leave and never come back here. Oh my gosh. I just can't. Such an interesting game. I'm back. Great. I got the ticket mail. Let me through. You realize that's not a ticket, right? That's a dirty napkin. Oh. You were so fired up you didn't even realize it. No, what now? I'm the judge, remember? There's no actual ticket, bozo. I watched Rando's performance. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was epic, right? I watched everything else as well. Oh. Yeah. For a moment there, I thought the cringe would absorb me entirely. Yeah, I kind of got excited and something got stuck in my throat. Yeah. So do I get the ticket? Can you forget the ticket for a sec, bozo? There's no actual ticket. I'm just letting you through to her. Oh, okay, thanks. Please be on your best behavior. She doesn't really like people. She doesn't like people? That's what I said. No need to keep repeating me, bozo. Just go. Thanks, Mael. Are we gonna go home finally? Whoa, what is this place? Okay. Huh? The place is creepy. Everything seems to be made of some kind of obsidian. It's cold to the touch. An odd statue lives next to the entrance. It's huge. A white cat? Looking down the room, you can see the bright pink light again. It's just like the door in your basement. You can also make out these weird pipes. They remind you of... Wait. The switch. It's your radiator. Or not your radiator. It's your furnace. That's mine. This is my furnace. It's in here? That sounds perfectly nonsensical, but that's your switch. Huh? Why do you torment me, outsider? The voice seems to come from that corridor with the purple light. It sounds commanding yet shaky. Who's coming? Tell me, what gives you the right to just walk in here? That might be acceptable in your world, but in Snowcone, that's considered impolite. What? Oh, sorry, but I won the open challenge over at the stage. Dinner with the mayor? Dinner with you? Ugh. I told Mayal not to let anyone through there anymore. A big city like Snowcone has bigger fish to fry. Your dinner has to wait. I'm working on important plans for the city as we speak. Well, not as we speak, but after we speak. I don't understand. That's okay, outsider. I'll make it clear to you. No dinner, so be on your way. But I'm pretty sure you did something to my heating, and I really need to flip that switch. You will not flip that switch. Huh? Are you insane, human? What you see in front of you is the heart of Snowcone, the source of our energy. I must protect it so it never goes out. So be humble. Thousands of people depend on this energy. What? Thousands of people? Outsider. She's hard to read. Her voice slightly shifts to a shaky sound. I've had enough. Leave me. But I have to get back to my dog. We need this to survive, just like you. And I'm pretty sure you took it from me. Your dog? Yes, my dog Jedediah. You have a pet? Her voice goes even softer. For a moment, she sounds like a different person. Yeah, and he's probably freezing right now because of this mess. I have a pet too. Okay, so you understand. Is it the white cat? Yes, her name is Flake. She's beautiful. I've had her for so many years, and now she's missing. I haven't seen her in 2 days. I don't know what to do. And I'm terribly worried about Flake. Say, outsider, have you seen her out there? She loves to go on little hunts on the outskirts of the city. I've started not letting her out anymore because the snow became so strong lately. She must have slipped through somewhere. I haven't seen her, I'm sorry. What about my heating? Fine, I'll listen to you. But only if you find my cat. Please, I'm worried about her. She's never been gone for such a long time. This is hard to turn down. You understand her all too well, but you don't have time. Fine, I'll take one last look around, but if I don't find her, I'm coming back for my heating. Thank you. I promise to help you when you get back. When was the last time you left the house? It's complicated, outsider. A good mayor is not necessarily a popular mayor. Facing the citizen became problematic at a certain point. They were like an angry mob sometimes. It became too much for me. Everybody had these complaints. So I stopped going outside and started to raffle those dinner tickets. A mayor should listen to her people, after all. I'm just doing it one at a time nowadays. But you don't even know what's going on outside. What are you doing here? Most important thing imaginable. I'm tending to the heart of Snowcone, outsider. It seems to be sick lately. Sick? How so? I'm not sure. It's weaker somehow. And you're using my stuff to make it stronger again? Unbelievable. I understand your frustration, outsider. I'm looking for a solution, but first you have to find Flake. Where could Flake be? I'm not sure, but she always loved to visit the outskirts of Snowcone. Maybe somewhere around there. Okay, I'll go looking for her. Okay, so I think... Sometimes there are just weird noises. I think we just go back to where we came from. Oh! Flake! Flake! But I'm not sure if I even got through to her. She's a little out of it. Talking about the cat or the mayor? Okay. Oh. There we go. There's Flake. I couldn't see my pointer. It was weird. Hey, kitty. So you're Flake, huh? You're beautiful. She's dead. I know. Oh, sorry. Wait, she's dead? She's dead? What are you thinking about? Huh. I don't know. Did this game just go to something that I never ever want to... She's not been gone for long. You're gonna have to tell the mayor? What the fuck? Did a cat just die? What the fuck? Tell the mayor? Wait, should we talk to Shows? Has she passed? Yes, it must have happened a few minutes ago. How did you know? She came to me every evening to get some food. I enjoyed her company very much, and she was happy to see me every day. It seemed like she loved to explore Snowcone, and then she just got old outside her. But as you know, Snowcone works a little different. Yeah, you guys run on that weird purple energy. Exactly. But this is no longer natural outsider. Our time is over. It has been over for such a long time. The mayor wants to hold on with all her might, but it will be for nothing. Her methods have been prolonging our lives here for an unnatural amount of time, consuming more and more energy. But it's impossible to stop this. And that's okay. The mayor knows this as well, but she cannot accept it. That's why you need to speak to her about Flake. Why do I have to do it? Because you understand her. There are a lot of people left in this town. There are not a lot of people left in this town. We're all slowly falling asleep. The city got smaller and smaller. The energy cannot reach very far anymore. And so more and more people were buried in the snow. Is that what happened to Donna, that weird purple cloud? You have to tell her, quick. No, outsider, don't. You cannot stop it. I can't? Is this why Flake loved the outskirts so much? She knew it was time to go? Maybe, friend. It's not easy to say, but I believe she knew that her time had come. So, if I flip that switch, Snowcone will die? Oh no, friend. You should look at it differently. Snowcone is dying already. It's just our last song, so to speak. You should go now and flip that switch. Are you not afraid? No. I think Flake and I are the same in that regard. I lived for such a long time and I've been feeling the end for so long now. I'm ready, friend. I can sense it. Thanks for everything, Shozo. I'll be on my way then. Farewell, friend. Bye, friend. What? 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 Okay, I'll wait till the end, but I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm back. God. Did you find my Flake outsider? I did. But... oh no. What happened to my sweet Flake? I'm sorry. Is this gonna make me cry? It's so weird and confusing and I don't understand, but I don't like cats dying. I don't like it. As I'm holding my cat, like... no! It's... no! She passed away. No. I found her at the city entrance. She looked peaceful and almost as if she were sleeping. I'm sorry. This is gonna make me cry. I don't understand this. I don't understand. I don't I have a weird feeling I don't want to be streaming this. Why did a cat have to die? The mayor turned silent. Yeah, I would too. Is this just gonna make me mad? Because I don't like it. This can't be easy for her. It's not easy for anybody to go through this. But something tells you she's not entirely surprised by the news. Seeing her like that makes you think about Jedediah. You hope he's okay. Tell me, outsider. What is it? Do you want to go back to your Jedediah? I would love that. Of course. Tell me, how bad is it outside? In the city? Is there anybody left? Just a few people. It's ending. How could I be so delusional? Do you think I caused them to suffer needlessly? I don't know. I see. The only thing to do now is that you can be very proud of Snowcone. This got very serious. This got very serious very fast. Gosh. It was silly and funny, and then it's like, I punched a guy in the face, and then a cat died. Like, there was not enough story for that to be necessary. We didn't learn enough about these people. Like, this has been the quickest... Like, what? You can be proud of Snowcone. I can? I mean, if I say it, it must mean something, right? It's not like I wanted to be here in the first place. All I wanted was to be here for my dog today. Get him back to health and peacefully watch some Star Trek together. When the radiator got cold, I started to worry again like I always do. Only this time, it probably was an appropriate reaction. Then there was this weird door in my basement, and Shozo helped me figure out what this place was about. He didn't have to be so kind to me, but that's just who he is. I got to know Mayel, who kept insulting me. But we kind of became friends in the end when I was introduced to the music of Pond Drinker. Who? I had to deal with an absolute lunatic who kept annoying poor Shirley. Then I saw someone sing his heart out to confess his love. I punched someone in the face, and now I'm finally here. That's a pretty good synopsis of this game. That's literally what we did. Okay. It seems the mayor got a little lost in your incoherent story. So did I. What I meant by all this is, Snowcone is great, and I understand why you wanted to hold on to that as long as you could. Believe me, I understand that thought too well. You're thinking about your dog, right? Yes. I just hope he's okay. And that he's getting better again. Your voices echo through the obsidian and fade away in the distance. You can feel a slight warmth underneath it all. Can you do me a favor, friend? Of course. Can you get over to that switch and flip it? I think I'm ready. Okay. You slowly approach the oversized switch and put your hands on it. The warmth gets a little stronger. You give the mayor a last look. She nods. Thank you, friend. What? It's not every day that you can see new places. Most of the time, those places don't really tell you what their story is. You have to go to the people for that. That's Shirley's office. Even if they might be strange beyond belief, I think it's supposed to be belief, you can still learn things from them. Like following your passion. They can show you a new perspective on things you normally worry about endlessly. They can also show you little treasures hidden in boxes, unique things you never even dreamed of. Some of these people share your innermost fears and dreams, and despite all their worries, they just decided to go for it. Maybe you should do the same. Is Jedediah dead? I'm gonna punch someone. Like I punched Jacob. Quite some time has passed, and it's still so cold. Feels a little odd to sit on this bench now after everything that happened. Maybe it'll never feel the same again. Who knows? You should stop worrying about so much about things. And why are you still talking to yourself? It's fine. Huh. Jedediah's right there. He looks like a Lashiba. I think he's a Lashiba. So maybe we should go inside? Isn't it too cold? I mean, this is boring, right, Jed? Huh? What's that? You want to stay outside for a little longer? Hee hee. You know what? Why not? We have plenty of time. What just happened? I'm very confused. It was like silly up until a certain point, and then it got really weird and serious. I don't think the cat had to die. I'm glad Jedediah didn't die. Oh my gosh, if Jedediah, if like, I was worried that our character was sitting on that bench and being like, Jedediah died. Like you're like sitting there contemplating how sad it is. At least Jedediah is not dead. Gosh. I don't know. It was a cute story. It was good. Oh, and it just ended. Okay. We'll go to just chatting. That was a story. That was a thing that happened. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. It was not what I expected. There weren't a ton of characters, but I guess that was the point. That there were only like a few people left in Snowcone. I still don't understand the logistics of it, but I'm not sure you're meant to. But it's just not what I expected. Maybe I'll have to leave it at that. It's not what I expected. It was very cute. I loved the animation. The music was cute. The stories were really nice. That crazy caller was hilarious. That complaining guy on the phone. That was really funny. I really liked Mael, the computer. They were funny. Jacob punching him in the face. He was so mean. But yeah, I guess in the end, it's just not what I expected. And I guess that's sometimes the point of games, right? Especially narrative games, to kind of make you think. I'm kind of wish the story was longer. I don't know if because this is just the beginning and it just came out, if they'll add anything. I kind of wish it was a little longer because it feels like it was something silly and lighthearted, and then all of a sudden it was so serious. And I was like, it was like whiplash. And maybe in the narrative, I wish it had kind of explained, hey, like sometimes like humor covers up. And I guess they did say they like awkward laugh when they're uncomfortable, but it's like I kind of wish it had been part of the story that like sometimes it feels lighthearted and confusing and then it gets really serious when you don't expect it, but it seemed to me a little more confusing than thought-provoking. But I was less confused about the characters themselves at the end. So I guess that's good. But I guess I just wish the story not necessarily made more sense because it makes sense, but just had a little more to it because I don't. It got really serious while feeling very frothy, and it's kind of confusing. But it was a very sweet game, and it was just like an hour, 2 hours. And in the end, you felt kind of like, oh, okay. So, all in all, pretty good game. Pretty good game. I don't know how I feel about it really. It, it kind of whiplashed me like with the emotions. I hate the ring lights in my glasses. It kind of gave me whiplash a little bit with the emotions and the seriousness all of a sudden because my L was like so silly mean and like it seemed light hearted and then all of a sudden the cat died and I was like, no, no, just no. So that was an interesting journey. I'm glad I played it. I enjoyed it. I was very confused by it. I'm so glad all of you watched this with me. I think I need to end the stream here because I was thinking, oh, if it's a small game, then I'll maybe play something else. But honestly, it was weirdly heavy at the end, and I think I need a minute to process what all just happened because, again, I will say it for like the 12th time, that's not what I expected at all. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming with me. I will post this VOD on YouTube so that, we can have documentation of what this was. This was so strange. Man, I went through so many weird emotions. I think the cat dying was just a little too much for me. I think it would have been enough if we'd even seen, like, evidence that, like, the cat left or something, or the cat's just not there anymore. But then maybe I don't know, maybe the mayor wouldn't have accepted it. I just don't like that a cat died. I'm just personally, it was rough. I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I've already had too many of my cats die. I don't want it. So maybe for other people it will be different. I am excited to know what other people think of this game because I'm still kind of confused. So because I've played this game, I am excited to see if anyone else plays it and what they think about it. But I'm excited to go on Reddit to see what happens because I'm very much confused. I'm not sure if I will raid. I don't know. I'm just confused emotionally. I don't know what's happening. A cat died. That's what I'm stuck on. I just can't. Oh, but Ty and Whitney are both streaming. Maybe we'll hop into Whitney's. If you want to come along with a raid real quick, that would be really great. If not, and you have to head out, I understand. Thank you so much for hanging around. That was so confusing and strange, but I'm glad I did it. Again, I got a key from the dev. Very good. It is free on Steam right now. I don't know if it'll end up being money or if they're going to update it and maybe make it like longer and maybe then put a price on it. I'm not sure, but for now it is free to play. So, graphics were really cute, very interesting storyline. I just not what I expected. Again, I think that's the 15th time me saying it, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming along. I'll put up my raid stuff. Oh, I also have Discord if you want updates about when I go live. Right now I'm playing Outer Wilds, Cult of the Lamb. I might get back into some Stardew Valley. I love Stardew Valley. It's like my OG love. So, yeah. Love you guys. See you later. Here's my Discord, and I'm going to put up the raid stuff. A darker shade of Whitney is where we're going. I can type it with one hand because my cat is in my arms right now. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. This is my raid. We can go. So confusing. But thanks for watching. Love all you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.